What was your first badge that you got, and why did you end up starting to collect badges?
So my first badge was actually just a plastic one off of a it was on a rooftop and it was on the ground, and I could have probably put it back on the unit, but I just took it and put it in my pocket. And from there I would start just collecting like decommissioned badges and stuff like that.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle Podcast. And today I've got Thomas Pears on. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I got my carry badge, the original from 1918, the Newark, New Jersey first plant, and doing well today.
Awesome. I'm still waiting on you turning our YouTube badge into a necklace.
Oh
If
yeah,
you ever
yeah.
get
I'm gonna
around
get to that
to
at the next AHR.
it. Amazing. So Thomas, you've been super involved with the HVAC Facebook groups. You're kind of comedy relief. A lot of people taking themselves very seriously in these groups. You and a few others are pretty active. You're on there a lot. So I guess one of my first questions is, well, actually, if you don't mind giving just a little bit of background about yourself, how long you've been in HVAC? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it?
So I got back in HVAC in gotten yeah, HVAC in 2020, early part of the COVID era, and I was cycling through as an apprentice, installation, service, that sort of stuff, and then it came up to like 2023. That's when I started like actually joining like Facebook groups and whatnot, and started to develop like a kind of a character bit throughout the episodes of the you know banned from all the most of the Facebook groups, but that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Why do you think you got banned from a few of the Facebook groups?
Because a lot, like let's say HVAC technician is a very serious one, and there's a couple
Yeah.
other ones like HVAC school group. That one's serious too, and so I'm a bit of a jokester in those groups, so I don't take it seriously. And
And what got you so involved? Like, because you're kind of like a daily poster, if I'd have to say. I feel like there's not a lot, or maybe you post like two or three. I always see your posts. Um, what got you kind of posting regularly? What was like the initial spark for wanting to like get involved slash fuck with people, etc.
I initially started. Uh, it started on a whim. Like once you kind of learn the trade and you can understand what a joke is, or like, why in school you learn you can't, put refrigerant in a bucket and reclaim it that way. But when you work in the field and you see people do it uh, endlessly, it's kind of a running gag. So you build on things like that, um, and make jokes about that. So you're
Hmm.
able to like relate with other
Uh,
people and other technicians.
what was your first badge that you got, and why did you end up starting to collect badges?
So my first badge was actually just a plastic one off of a it was on a rooftop and it was on the ground, and I could have probably put it back on the unit, but I just took it and put it in my pocket. And from there I would start just collecting like decommissioned badges and stuff like that. And after a while it turned into, because all we have down here in Florida is plastic and sometimes a few metal ones, but nothing like real old like this. So
Hmm.
eventually just transpired into 1 to 100 to 1,000, and then I'm getting people donating shit to me or stuff to me,
Hmm. You can say
and
shit.
here I am now.
Um, so what's your favorite? Is this carrier one your favorite one, or do you have any other ones that are like prized possessions?
Right now, I mean, this definitely is my favorite one because it is the first style carry badge that they created, for specifically the Newark, New Jersey plant in 1918. So it does signify the invention of carrier itself, and why it matters to air conditioning. There's other
Mm,
people who created, John Gorey was one, but his invention was more of an ice maker and a fan attached to it than an actual air conditioning machine. So Carrier himself might have seen this particular badge in his life when he was, you know, alive then.
And I mean, I'm not super well schooled on all this. Talk to me about carrier. What that like? Talk to me about more about what that signifies. Give me more of the story here. Why do you care about that early HVAC world? So why do you care about like the beginnings of HVAC? What's fascinating to you? What's the most interesting part of you? Part about that to you, the early part of HVAC.
The fascinating thing about that is, one, air conditioning is probably considered top three inventions ever. Electricity, air conditioning, and I don't know, printing press or something. I don't know, but I would say it's top, for me personally. It's top three. You know,
Yeah.
um, I don't care what Google says or anybody says. Air conditioning is number one, especially down here in the South. I, people had fans back in the day, but that doesn't really do anything, honestly. Um, Having air conditioning is super essential, and especially in a growing climate, it's necessary. And why that relates to history is, um, I mean, it's just, I guess everything ties together.
Tell me about did you grow up with air conditioning? Like where are you in the
No, I didn't.
country?
No, we didn't have air conditioning. Well, you were in New York City, so we didn't.
Okay.
I guess we didn't really need it most of the time.
Yeah,
But
I was in Minnesota. I was in Minnesota, so we didn't have air conditioning growing up. Everyone has it now, but like when I was younger, and people are like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Minnesota. I mean, there's 10 days where you really need." Now I'm super grateful that we have it, and everyone, a lot of people have it now. But I remember being like washcloths on the forehead with like the like fan blowing in our house, and it's a pretty. It sucked. It
yeah,
sucked not having air conditioning. I remember when I got my first couple like window units when I moved out on my own or whatever, and I was like proud of having a window unit.
no, I agree with you. Speaking of window units, though, just recently went up to the Pottsville, Pennsylvania, vintage AC meet, and that's pretty much just guys who are, some most of them are just office workers, hobbyists. Some are HVAC techs, but it's all like old window units, 1940s, 30s, up until 80s kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't think we even had that. All we had in my house was like a radiator and a like just windows to get the draft through it.
So you grew up very warm, some days wishing you had AC, which is
Yeah,
it's the
I mean, I
makings
I
of an
couldn't put the
AC
word on what I
guy.
wanted. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, the technology was around in the '90s, but you know, even then, people still opted not to.
Anything else on why you collect badges? Like anything else in that topic that you'd like to share, things you've learned? Maybe a couple that you're looking for still.
So yeah, I mean, why I collect badges is I like the advertising logos of it. I think that a lot of the older ones, especially, do a good job of making it ornate, making it look like it's, something that really stands out, and also it's also a very niche choice of collection to have, and there's probably less than 5 active people in the world collecting badges. So it's definitely something where I know I can always find a rare one because no one's really
Mm.
looking for them. Um,
And so, yeah,
I
if
also
you're
use
out there, yeah, I just want
Oh,
to give
okay.
a call to action for Thomas. If you find one that's incredibly dope, you should get it to Thomas. Thomas is one of five and I've seen some at these offices around the country, but I don't think they're going as hard as you, Thomas. And so I think you should get Thomas a cool one if you find it. We need to get this man top number one collector in the world for badges. If you're not already,
Yeah.
you might be.
Yeah, I might be already. I mean, I don't meet a lot of people that really, I meet people that collect like fridge emblems, and that's about it. But nothing exclusively where it's just emblems.
Mm.
So I may be the only one.
Anything else on badges? Sorry, I kind of interrupted you there.
Yeah, I mean, the other things too is I use it to, a little side thing I do now is I update a little website where I have every badge from every single HVAC brand in history and just chronologically order them into one so that we can see the evolution of the advertising brands from, let's say, Carrier, Bryant, and go all the way down to modern times.
What's the website?
HVAChistory.com.
HVAChistory.com. Awesome, man. Anything else that people can do to contribute or be part of this?
I mean, if people, oh, I mean, if someone has a badge they like or they want to, send me a message because I have my email in there. Just send me an email of the badges you have, or if you want to get rid of them, you can send it to me. I can give you an offer to buy them off you, and we can go from
Yeah,
there.
cool. Um, well, I'm interested, man. I'm following that journey. That shit's cool to me. I'm in marketing and advertising. I think advertising is an art, and I also like something that's interesting to me. I've always liked lettering. So like I really like I did like years in a row where I would just like write I'd make a word but I was like writing it out like it trying to make it stylish or whatever, you know? And so I
Yeah,
did that for years and so when I see a good classic logo that's really well done, it like it hits. So I get it cuz I love these old logos and they used to be done by hand originally, right? Like everything was done by hand, so it's got this like I know there was a guy back there that was really passionate about letters making that item.
yeah. No, I agree with you. That's kind of the same output I share with it too. There's lots of cool emblems that have like Bryant, for example. Their old logos was a English Terrier, and it was a really cool looking emblem. And now it's just a red piece of plastic. It's just kind of bland and boring.
Many homes suffer from inefficient HVAC systems due to leaky ducts, leading to uneven room temps, lost airflow, and higher energy costs. AeroSeal's innovative sealant technology targets and repairs leaks, improving airflow and efficiency. Increase your customer satisfaction, increase sales, and offer a unique market advantage. Become a leader in HVAC efficiency. aeroseal.com.
I've seen some like other like modern logos that have just gotten just absolutely slaughtered, like Jaguar, for instance, like car, but
Yeah,
like used to have like the sprinting Jaguar, and then they just like made it this really sad circular letters. Just says It's like go look up the old and the new Jaguar logo. They just got slaughtered. It is terrible. It's actually it's not good. Um, okay, spicy question for you. And I've always wondered this, so I'm just curious about Thomas Pears in general, for real. Uh, do you consider what you do in this Facebook group? And this is the backstory if people haven't been following, if you're not, in all the HVAC groups or whatever. Thomas posts. A lot of people seem to be mad in the comments. Like there's always there's people like getting riled up, and sometimes I think they know what's going on half the time, and then half the time I think that you've activated them in some way. Do you consider what you do rage bait?
it's for me. It's like a halfway ground. I know that I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, um, but at the same time, if you're that tuned to it where you take it seriously enough to get pissed off, then it also makes me a little happy. So
Hmm.
I know there's gonna be like a little bit of a half and half. Like some people are gonna joke
Yeah,
about it. Some people are gonna get mad, call you out, whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Because there's
but
more
it,
people that kind of
it's
know what you're doing now. That like there's people that are playing into it a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, there's
That's
there's
fun.
definitely people that play into it, and there's also always the regulars who keep thinking that that it's completely serious majority of the time, who still haven't
Which is
taken the
I could
hints on.
yeah. Which I can see how that would be fun. Um, what are your most common tropes? I've been following, but for the folks that haven't gotten to experience Thomas Pears on HVAC Facebook in all its glory and all your glory, what are some of the things that are the most triggering to people that are like themes you can go to and push the buttons if you want to?
My best ones are anything to do with low wages.
Yeah.
People absolutely hate that.
Yeah. Like you're talking about the fact you make low wages or whatever, or what?
I'll talk about I'm hiring at low wages, or I'm
Yeah.
hiring uh people that,
Okay.
or I might be saying that I'm hiring illegals, stuff like
Yeah.
that, and people will think it's serious. Um,
What else? What are you like? I'm just trying to, because I'm
yeah,
okay with trolling occasionally as well. Like I do memes and I do know what it is. Like I have like HVAC hustle on Instagram, and use I use a little rage bait myself sometimes because it really does get the most interaction.
yeah. I mean, other ones are like any refrigerant jokes, recovery in a bucket, because we've been always taught since trade school that you can't do that. EPA will fine you
Yeah.
$10,000. And people still play into that joke, even if you post a video of you putting, refrigerant in a bucket
Yeah.
of water. Um, let's see. Um, and then there's just like random one-offs.
Yeah.
There's just you'll say something that you might not think is funny or whatever, and then it turns out it is funny, and it'll piss a lot of people off.
So it also is connection though for you, right? Like you do get to like meet a lot of people from this. People know you from these groups. There's an element of like community under as well
Yes.
alongside. Like I'm sure like when you met Gene Slade, for instance, like, hey, there is some camaraderie. People rip us both on the internet.
Yeah.
And you're kind of making fun of each other a little bit, but you're having fun. There's a human connection piece there. Do you think that the HVAC Facebook community is worth being part of, even for all of its hard knocks and weirdness?
I think it is. You know, I've gotten warnings from my boss for posting on company time. But that's beside the point. But
That's a good post. I bet you some people would hate that shit. Talk about.
I did get a warning from my boss because,
I
well,
post every
I wasn't
morning
posting on.
at 10 a.m. during my company time. I just fucking, yeah, I'm sure they'd love that.
Yeah. But no, it's good to have a community. AHR was great. 6 people just come up behind me and say, "Are you Thomas Pears?" And I think it's just because of the little badge that they recognize. But so that was kind of, and I haven't done anything with like Instagram or TikTok. It's not really my thing. I just like posting on Facebook groups,
Yeah.
and that's fine enough for me.
Yeah. I feel like the bad see, I use rage bait and stuff like that in my memes, right? Like I know I purposely leave something unsaid. We did something with like a recovery bucket with Mr. Fat Cheeto and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it's 1.7 million views.
Yeah,
And like you leave something unsaid or you let them get mad, right? Cuz it's fine cuz it's good for me that we got a lot of views or whatever. Um But what sucks about posting on TikTok and Instagram is that it's hard to create like community. Do you know what I mean? Like it's at least when you post in these Facebook groups, like there's some people that know what's going on and there's a little bit of like cheekiness about it. Like, and I'm sure
yeah,
like you've actually made real friends from it versus like TikTok and Instagram, it's so fickle and it feels like it's total strangers every single time I post. So it's like there's a lot of people that are just mean and like don't even get anything. I couldn't handle doing rage bait all the time because I'm just too sensitive. I'm very sensitive. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Well,
it
the thing
works.
is,
It
is like
works on the
it's
internet.
yeah. The thing is too is like there's zero on like Facebook. There's really zero sense of anonymity. Versus where you can hide behind a little profile on Instagram, whatever. Not saying it's a bad
Yeah.
thing, but I
Yeah.
like the idea that I could get fired at any time from my job if someone rats me out.
I like the idea.
So
Yeah, the
I'm
stakes.
crossing a double-edged sword there.
Yeah. So I have a question because you did a story or a post a little while back about autism, and I was just curious if you're really autistic and how that's been. I mean, both in HVAC and in like HVAC community in the industry.
So I'm just recently diagnosed 2 months ago with high functioning autism, um, as an adult, and really, I probably knew that the whole time, or people would, you know, tell me that they think that I'm autistic or whatever. But I don't think that's really, I don't know if that's really contributed to anything so much as like the style or change of how my posts are created and whatnot.
Hmm.
I think the flair has already been established, and so I just, roll with what I got and how I've been
Hmm.
doing it.
How about has that affected, or how would you say, if any way, has that affected your career in HVAC? Does that affect kind of interactions with teammates or homeowners or anything like that?
Homeowners, I don't think they watch any Facebook HVAC groups,
No, no,
but
no. I'm
uh,
saying like in your interactions with them, does autism have you felt like that makes anything more difficult or more easy?
oh, I mean, it's that for me, it's definitely I know I have a bit difficult time to approach when I'm uh trying to tell customers the issues and whatnot and what we can do to repair them. Um, so there is an issue of like too much introvertness to present options to
Yeah.
the customer. Um, Teammates, it's I talk, hey Joe, that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. At one
I
point
don't
you
do
were
a
an
whole lot with talking.
apprentice, right? Like at
I'm
one point
sorry.
you're an apprentice. Um, how long were you an apprentice for? And are you no like what I can't tell what's character and what's not character on so like where are you actually at in your career and how long did you apprentice for before you started like doing your own installs and stuff like that?
Well, down here in Florida, we don't really have like a union style apprentice,
Yeah.
so it's but like just a rookie in the trade. I was doing it for like 2 years, and then I just became a service tech and just did that, and
Yeah.
that like just nobody
Okay.
calling me or whatever.
Okay. And so you're a service tech now.
Yes.
Nice. Um, anything else you want to share on that before I start like talking shit about Facebook groups and stuff like that again? Because that's what I know. Because I haven't, I'm a
Yeah.
marketer, which we don't have any real trade with our hands, but um,
No, I get you.
except for doing this and this.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I get you.
what is like another thing I guess about if you'd share with somebody that was in their first couple years in the trade, anything that you think could help them if they're, newer to HVAC and maybe going through it's like harder at the beginning, right? Those first couple years, anything you'd share with them to encourage them or to recommend?
Yeah, don't overanalyze what tools you need. I know it can seem, staggering. You're like, oh my God, how I need a vacuum pump, I need this and this and this. And, just, come in with a drill and some screwdrivers and stuff. And that's pretty much it. Um, just you're there to learn. You're not there to have every single tool on hand when you start. Um, so that might help. Um,
Mm,
and also on top of that, just don't be offended if someone gets mad at you for you messing up the third or fourth time you do something. I know I had an issue a couple years ago where I was at a new construction site. This is like when I was just starting, and we had this tube of fire caulk, and I kept getting it on my pants like new work pants every single day, and that stuff doesn't come off. It's like red, and it looks like shit on your pants. So
mhm.
my boss yelled at me for that, and after that yelling, I, you know, toughened up and never did again.
All right. How about for like accelerating your career? I know that, you went from essentially not a official apprenticeship, but like being early to now running your own jobs and stuff like that. Anything you would recommend to speed it up if somebody was trying to speed up to get to make more money essentially in the trade?
That for me, I've worked with companies where it's like it's a home warranty company, or they were just throwing me out, you know, 12 calls in a day, and it was like just clean a drain line, get out, right?
Yeah.
Just do a complete junk work and get out. Doesn't matter. As long as it's cooling, leave. And I've worked with companies where it's like 3 calls in a day and, it has to be perfect every single time. So I like that approach more. I like the approach of just, get the job and capacity is the issue, right? Well, clean the drain line while you're there. Florida, you're gonna clog a drain line like 2 months, so you may as well clean the drain line and just make sure everything is perfect before you leave. Doesn't matter how long
Oh,
it takes. If your boss says you have 8 more calls, you know, I don't know, find another job, I guess. You know,
that's a good mindset, right? Like go somewhere where you can do decent work for real.
yeah,
Try
because I
to
mean,
try to make yeah.
yeah, because callbacks are callbacks. Even if you work for a home warranty company, you get a callback, it's still looked on as, what are you doing with 12 calls a day, versus a company that has 3 calls a day and you get a callback. You know,
Mm,
so you'll still be looked on as like, what are you doing? What am I paying you for?
yeah. All right, back on my bullshit. What's your favorite thing about Gene Slade?
All right, Gene Slade was, well, one, he's handsome. That's what I like about him. Uh, his wife's pretty too. Um, No, Gene, I'm not hitting on your wife. But I met Gene up at AHR. Before that, I kind of knew him on Facebook. Messed around with him on HVAC for Life, and uh, met him up
Important to
there.
note for non super on the internet people, people have been fucking with Gene Slade a lot on Facebook groups,
Yeah,
and he's played into it. He's kind of like done things I think almost to incite the intensity, but people are mean on these Facebook groups towards Gene Slade. And you had your first filet mignon, I believe.
yeah. So he fed me after I showed him after I showed him the 4 quarters. He invited me to Fogo de Chao in Orlando, and he fed me. He sang Happy Birthday to me, and he fed me with his fork piece of filet mignon. So I don't think anyone
Um,
else is gonna experience that.
it's probably a little more rare, which is good. Um, any other thoughts on Gene Slade you want to share for the audience?
He's a good guy. I kind of wish his little he has little what do you call them, people that send you links to join his sessions in like Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I wish it was him, not his like little I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but his like paid friends and whatnot that he has you
Yeah,
said to link. I wish it was just him, you know.
yeah.
But whatever. I'm complaining about a completely minute thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and just any other like tips for navigating because I'm new this first couple years really to HVAC. I'm still and I've tried to go like learn a little bit out in the field, but I'm not gonna lie, it's harsh because I'm like I'm good at what I do, but I've gone and tried to like help a little bit with an HVAC install, and I felt like they fucked with me a lot. Um, well, what would you say about like obviously if I was really doing it, I would have to like go all in and be like a humble apprentice. But dealing
Yeah.
with the humility of being in a new industry, any tips for like navigating a new industry and not getting roasted to hell in the process? Because I feel like when I was trying to actually help install a unit, I got roasted pretty bad. So I took it serious. Like it hurt my feelings. I need to get more
That,
humble.
that's just unfortunately that's just part of the hazing process.
Yeah,
Um, Everybody deals with it, and it might feel like you're outcasted at times, but it's I think it just really helps with the bonding of, you know, not taking everything too seriously and just going at one step at a time. So, if your
I
boss tells you to get
appreciate
a
that.
tube
I'm not.
stretcher,
Yeah. Yeah, I did get the tube stretcher line. I was trying to get the full apprentice experience. I want to try again though. I want to actually like help though. Like I felt like the whole time I was just the tough part is when you're in early in something, it feels like you're actually like slowing everybody down, which that's just hard to get over that hump of like I'm still slowing people down.
oh no, you're not. I mean, when you're an apprentice, you're slowing everybody down, you know.
Yeah.
But that's not like you're a bad person or whatever. It's just what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and there's like on a more serious note, there's a topic of why does a McDonald's worker get paid more or the same as a technician starting the field? A McDonald's worker in a week can produce 100% productivity, right? A technician
Mm-hmm.
might take months or years to produce the same of,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be at a loss. The company will be at a loss for a while until that
Mm.
technician can improve their skill set.
That's good. So a reminder to everyone still in that era, you're gonna make a lot of money, or you're gonna make
Yes.
significantly more money, but they're basically paying for you to be at school. Like that's kind of what it ends up being. So that's a good reminder. And to employers, yeah, like some people only hire people that have worked somewhere else. But I think it's probably ideal for the industry if everyone did get a little bit better about training people on the job.
No, I agree. But it's all a testing ground, and to see if you really enjoy it, and if you don't, then kick rocks.
Absolutely. Have you seen a lot of people kind of try and then decide not to?
And I went through trade school for a year. Um, Out of like my 20 people in the class, only 6 are still in the field. You know,
Hmm.
and that's fine. It's not like you have to do the rest of your life. Some are pilots. One of them is a pilot, and then the one's working the government. But you know, I know going in 150-degree attics can be a challenge, and
Hmm.
some people can do it, and most people can't, and that's fine.
Well, Thomas, it's been good hanging out with you. I got one final question before we wrap up here. Glove or no glove?
Oh, no glove. I'm purely raw dogging it.
Amazing. And thank you everyone for watching. This is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle podcast, put on by hookagency.com. Thomas Pears, you're doing a service to the internet. You're keeping us all entertained. Could you give us that .com one more time to check out your stuff?
Yes, HVAChistory.com.
Awesome. Thanks everyone. See ya.